Welcome to Learn English Speaking. Let's talk stories. Here we bring you amazing stories to improve your English fluency. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting lessons. Let's learn together.
Chapter 1. Jason's Future. Jason, did you hear me? Are you working? Jason's mum heard nothing from his room. She decided to go and see what was happening. She stood outside the door of his bedroom for a minute, and then she walked in. Jason was sitting on the floor and looking at some photos. "What are you doing, Jason?" she asked. Jason turned off his music and looked up. "Do you remember this?" He gave her a photo. "It's me when I was 5, and Maria. She was really pretty. Well, she still is. It was my birthday party, wasn't it?" "Yes, I think so," his mum said. "It was the last birthday before Dad left," Jason said. "I remember it very well." "The party, or the day Dad left?" asked his mum. "Both," said Jason. "In my mind, they both happened on the same day." "They didn't, but it all happened a long time ago," his mum replied. She walked to the window, so Jason couldn't see her face. Simon, her husband, left their house in Moorland Road early one morning 12 years ago. He wrote her a letter and put it on the kitchen table. And then he left. For 12 years she didn't hear from him. No letters. No birthday cards for Jason. Then, last week, there was a phone call. "Why did you go?" she asked Simon again and again. He wanted to meet her. "No," she said, but she wanted to say yes. Jason's mum turned away from the window. "Jason, what about your homework?" she said. "Why are you looking at old photos?" "I want to find all the ones I've got of Maria. I want to take them with me to London, you know, when I go to art school." He smiled at a funny photo of Maria, aged 11. "It's a bit early to think about all that, Jason," his mum said. "You're not going until the autumn, and you don't know if you're going to get a place at the art school." "I will. I'm sure I will. When I went to visit them 2 weeks ago, they said, 'We think your work's very good. We really like your ideas.'" "I know, but... Anyway, where are you going with Maria tonight?" asked his mum. "Broad Street Bar. There's a great reggae band on," said Jason. "Have you told her about going away to art school in September?" asked his mum. "Yeah, she's fine about it, I think," he replied. "I can come home at the weekends." "You won't—" his mother began, and then stopped. "I know what you're thinking," said Jason. "But we're different. We'll always be together." His mother left the room and went downstairs. "Maybe Jason and Maria are different," she thought. "They've known each other since they started primary school. But I thought Simon and I were different, and look what happened." "Mum," Jason came into the kitchen. "I'm going round to Maria's now. I'll have something to eat at her house, OK?" "Have you finished your work?" asked his mum. "Yes, Stop asking me. See you later, about 12, OK? And Jason left the house before his mum had time to say anything else. 5 minutes later, the phone rang. Jason's mum jumped out of her chair, looked at the phone and thought, Simon. She answered it. Hello, she said in a very quiet voice. Oh, hi, Mrs. Campbell. Is Jason there? Maria! Jason's mum almost shouted her name. No, sorry, he's left. He's on his way to your house. Oh, no, said Maria. Is there a problem? Jason's mum asked. No, yes. I can't go out with him tonight, but it's OK. I'll tell him when he arrives here, answered Maria. Bye. Jason's mum sat down. She drank a little red wine. She thought about the phone call from Maria. She thought that Maria's voice was a bit strange. She hoped nothing was wrong. Chapter 2. Nina's new job. Nina Sen's work at the bank was over for the week. She was at home at 48 Moorland Road with her 6-year-old son, Max. He was eating sausages and chips. I got 100% in maths today, he said. Did you? That's great, Nina answered. You're good with numbers, just like me. Is Dad at work? Asked Max. Yes, but he'll be home soon. He's got the evening off, Nina replied. David Sen worked as the top cook at Julie's, an expensive French restaurant. He worked long hours, and very often he didn't get home until late. Oh, good! Mum, can my friend Adam come to football with us tomorrow? Asked Max. Of course he can. Do you want to watch a bit of TV after dinner? Nina wanted some time to think before David came home. But she didn't get much time, because 10 minutes later, she heard David come in. Hi, Nina. David kissed her. Where's Max? Watching TV, said Nina. How was the restaurant today? Good. You know Dan? Asked David. The new assistant in the kitchen. Well, one of my cooks was ill today, so Dan did some cooking. And he was great. He has a French grandmother, and he can remember some of the food she made. So he's got lots of ideas for the new menu. Daddy! Daddy! Max shouted, running into the room. Hello, Tiger, said David. Let's go and read a story, and then you can tell me all about your day. Father and son left the kitchen. Nina could hear Max's excited voice. He was really happy to see his father. I'm lucky, thought Nina. Why do I want to change things? She cooked dinner for herself and David. Are you ready to eat? Asked Nina when David came back to the kitchen. There's something I want to talk to you about. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Is it something important? He asked. The director from head office came to the bank today. He told me I was the manager of the month, Nina said. Well done! Does that mean you'll get more money? David laughed. In a way, yes. He asked me to be the manager in Newcastle. That's a really big bank, about 5 times the size of the one here. Nina stopped and looked at David's face. So, yes, more money. "Ah," was David's only answer. Then a few seconds later, "And what did you say?" "I said I was interested," Nina answered. "I also said I wanted to talk to you. What do you think?" "First thought," said David, who stood up to get a glass of water. "Well done you. You work hard, and I'm pleased for you. Second thought, what about my job? Third thought, Newcastle is so far away from here." "I thought all that too," said Nina. She went across the kitchen and stood with her arms around David. "And what about Max? He loves his school and his friends. And there's my mum and dad to think about," continued David. "I know they live in Exeter, but it's only 100 kilometres from Bath, and we see them quite often." "They could come with us. I'm sure they'll be happy in Newcastle. Your mum was born near there, wasn't she?" Nina was trying to think of some more good reasons. She really wanted this new job. "Yes, but they have all their friends around them now, and they love living in Exeter," David answered. "It's a big thing to move at their age." "Forget them for a minute. What about you?" asked Nina. "Well, you know I love working at Julie's," David replied. "We've got a good name since that newspaper wrote about us. It's an exciting time, and I don't really want to leave. Of course, I'm sorry the restaurant isn't mine, but we haven't got the money to buy it, so—" "I really want to say yes, David," Nina said. "I think this is just the beginning. Maybe I could become manager for a big area in a few years, and after that, well, who knows? Then we could buy 2 restaurants and—" "Slow down," said David with a smile. "We haven't decided yet. When does the job start?" "In 3 months," replied Nina. "David, we're still young. It could be exciting to start again in a new city." "True," replied David slowly. "When do you have to give the bank an answer?" "Well, they want me to decide by the beginning of next week," Nina said. "Say yes, then," said David quickly. "What?" Nina looked at David. She couldn't believe it. "Well, we can't buy Julie's. That's what I'd really like," David answered. "But I can get another job in a good restaurant in Newcastle. And your work is important. I know you love it." "Oh, David, you're wonderful. I'm so pleased I married you," Nina laughed. "I'm going to write to head office and tell them before you change your mind." David pulled Nina close and kissed her. "I hope we've done the right thing," he said. "Anyway, now I'm going to have a long, hot bath and think about it. And then I must phone Mum and Dad. I haven't spoken to them all week." "Don't tell them yet about Newcastle," said Nina. "Let's keep it to ourselves for the weekend." Nina sat at the table and wrote. Then she walked down Moorland Road with her letter and put it in the postbox on the corner. She heard a soft plop sound as it fell onto the other letters in the box. "We've decided what to do, and nothing can change that now," she thought. Chapter 3. Dinner at Maggie's. Maggie was sitting on the sofa. She had a photo in her hand. She was thinking about her holiday in Chile last month. She and her friend Belen went to Chile for 3 weeks, walking in the Andes Mountains. It was a wonderful time. Well, actually, I don't think the holiday was as wonderful for Belen as it was for me, Maggie thought. She looked at the photo and saw a happy group of young people. They looked happy because the day's walking was finished. They were also happy because that was the day they saw the beautiful bird. A condor, the famous bird of the Andes, flew high above them in the sky that day and stayed with them for hours. Maggie was sad to see it fly away at the end of the day. It was a very important bird for the Inca people, you know, said Javier, their group leader. On lots of old Inca buildings, you can see an unusual cross. It's unusual because it has 3 levels, like this. And Javier drew the cross on the ground. He continued, for the Incas, each level was a different world. The lower world, this world, and the higher world. And there was an animal for each world. The higher world had the condor. So you see, these birds were very special, very important for the Inca people. The group were interested in Javier's stories. Belen was more interested in Javier. From day 1, Maggie knew that Belen liked Javier. Well, he was great-looking and friendly with everyone. Belen talked to Maggie a lot about Javier, what he said to her, how she felt. This is exactly what she was like when we were at school together, thought Maggie. I hope I don't have to listen to this all holiday. At the end of the first week, Maggie went for a walk after dinner without the others. She didn't go far. She just wanted to be quiet and on her own with the stars in the dark sky. She stood looking up, and then she knew that someone was behind her. She turned round and saw Javier. "Are you okay, Maggie?" he asked. "Fine," she replied. "It's beautiful here, isn't it? I love the mountains. It's so different from where I come from." "I was born near here, so I love it too," Javier said. They sat and talked for a long time. She learnt about his life and about the life of ordinary people in Chile. From that day, she and Javier had a special friendship. They often talked together after dinner, and something more than a friendship began. And of course, Belen saw it. "It's okay, Maggie, really," said Belen. "I don't mind." But Maggie felt she did mind, and sometimes she saw Belen looking at her rather coldly. But at the end of the holiday, things were okay between the two friends. And Belen actually said she wanted to go on holiday with Maggie again. Maggie got up slowly from the sofa. She enjoyed dreaming about her time in Chile, but she had to make dinner. Belen was coming tonight. She walked into the kitchen and started cooking the meat for the lasagna. "Oh, I forgot to buy the tomatoes," she thought. She took her money and left the house. She walked quickly to the shop at the end of her street. In her house, the phone rang, and, of course, nobody answered it. Then the answer phone started. "Hi, this is Maggie. Sorry, I'm not here to take your call, but please leave your name and number, and I'll call you back later. Thanks." There was a small noise at the other end of the phone. Someone was getting ready to speak. But the person didn't leave a message or their name and number. Maggie came back with the tomatoes. She saw the message light on the phone. Probably Belen, she thought. Maybe she's going to be late. Maggie played the message, but there was nothing to listen to. Strange, she thought. She went into the kitchen and finished the lasagna. Then she took a glass of red wine into the living room. She picked up the phone. Telephone number 07788 536 782, called today at 1900 hours, she heard. Maggie wrote the number down and thought, I don't know anyone with that mobile number. But then she heard someone at the front door. It was Belen. "Hi, Maggie," said Belen and gave her a kiss. Something smells good." They walked into the living room, and Maggie gave Belen a glass of wine. "It's good to see you," said Maggie. "You look great. I love your hair." "Thanks. And how's the lovely Javier?" asked Belen. "Have you heard from him?" "Yeah, I have," said Maggie. "I got an email last week. He was in an internet cafe in Santiago." "Great! I thought it was just a holiday romance. But I'm really pleased for you. No, really I am," said Belen quickly when she saw Maggie looking carefully at her. "He says he's coming to England very soon. Maybe next week," said Maggie. "Really? So soon? It must be love," said Belen with a smile. "Well, I don't know about that," Maggie laughed. "He doesn't say anything about love, just that he's coming and that he's written me a letter to tell me everything." "Everything about what?" Belen asked. "I don't know. It's a bit of a strange email. Look, you can read it." Maggie gave the email to Belen. She read, "Hi, Condor Girl. I'm coming to England very soon. I need to get away from Chile for a bit. Have written to tell you everything. Can't say much now. Looking forward to seeing you a lot. Much love. Javier." Chapter 4. Sam has money problems. Sam arrived at his house, number 56. The lights were on in every room, and he could see his 16-year-old daughter, Emma, sitting at her computer in her bedroom. Sam went inside the house and put his bag down. Wonderful, he thought. No more work until Monday. Sam worked for the town's newspaper, the Bath Chronicle. He was a reporter, but not a very important one. He quite liked his job, but he didn't get a lot of money for it. When he started work at the newspaper 20 years ago, he had big ideas. He wanted to work there for a few years and then move to London to work for one of the big newspapers. But time moved on, and he didn't. Sam still wrote about the ordinary lives of people in Bath, and sometimes a big story. Then all the people on the paper had to work together, and it felt good again for a short time. "Hannah, where are you?" called Sam. "Upstairs with Alicia," a voice replied. Sam went upstairs and found his wife, Hannah, in the bathroom. 2-year-old Alicia was playing in the bath with about 10 yellow plastic ducks. "Hello, my favourite 2 girls," said Sam and kissed them both. "I heard that, Dad," called Emma from her bedroom. "What about me? I thought I was your favourite." "That was yesterday, when you made me a cup of tea," said Sam, and walked into his older daughter's room. Emma was looking at something on the internet. "I'm trying to find something about Chile for my geography teacher," said Emma, and turned to give her father a kiss. "Go and ask Maggie. She's just come back from Chile," replied her father. "No, it's okay. I'll find it on the internet. It's quicker. Anyway, she probably doesn't know much about the Mapuche Indians." "Dad, you know I really like geography, don't you?" asked Emma. "Yes," replied her father. "Well, our teacher wants to take us to Norway after school finishes in the summer. She told us about it today. It sounds wonderful. Can I go?" Emma looked at her father. He could see how excited she was. "It'll be expensive, won't it?" asked Sam. "I'm not sure," replied Emma, but she knew it wasn't cheap. "There's the money I got for my birthday. We can use that." "Yes, but that's not enough for a holiday to Norway. I'll talk to your mum about it," said Sam, and he left the room, again thinking about money. Sam went into his other daughter's bedroom. Hannah was sitting on the bed. Alicia was nearly asleep, so Sam kissed her goodnight. "How much does Emma need for Norway?" he asked Hannah as they walked downstairs. "A lot. About £700, I think. And she has to tell her teacher on Monday if she's going," replied Hannah. "She really wants to, Sam." "I know. I'll try to find the money from somewhere." Sam walked into the back garden for a cigarette. Hannah sat down at the kitchen table to read the newspaper. Hannah looked up when Sam came back in and said, "I could get a job, Sam, but I really want to stay at home with Alicia for a bit longer." "I know, and that's fine," said Sam. "I'll ask Jeremy to lend us some money. I don't like doing it, but I've done it before." His older brother Jeremy had a good job. He worked in the world of computers, where nobody thought about not having enough money. Jeremy was strong. Some people thought he was hard, not strong. Every job he got was better than the last one. He wasn't happy if life was too quiet and easy. He was a doer, not a thinker. His wife was the same. They both worked and played really hard. It's good that they don't have any children, because there isn't enough time for them in their lives, thought Sam. Jeremy didn't understand how expensive children were, and Sam hated asking his brother for money. He could tell that Jeremy felt sorry for his younger brother. "Why don't you get a better job, Sam?" Jeremy always asked. "You're intelligent. You could do anything." "I like my job," replied Sam. "I don't want to work anywhere else." That wasn't really true, but he could never let Jeremy know that. And this was the same conversation Sam and Jeremy had on the phone that Friday evening. But then it changed. "I'm sorry, Sam, but I'm not going to lend you the money," said Jeremy. "Pardon?" said Sam. No money this time. You need to think about your job. Get a job with more money. You've got to change, Sam. Every time you need money, you come to me. Well, I think it's too easy." Jeremy stopped. Sam put the phone down. His head was hurting. He couldn't believe it. His own brother didn't want to help him. His own brother talked to him like that and made him feel small and dirty. Sam went back into the kitchen. "What did he say?" asked Hannah. "Fine," said Sam. "He'll lend us the money so Emma can go to Norway." "I know it's difficult for you to ask, so thank you, my love," said Hannah and kissed him. Sam didn't look at Hannah and went to find Emma.
Chapter 2. The Open Road. One summer morning, Mole and Rat decide to visit Mr. Toad. They get in the boat and go up the river.
"Toad's rich, you know,"
says Rat.
"Is Toad very nice?"
asks Mole.
"Oh, yes,"
replies Rat.
"He's very nice. He isn't very intelligent, but we can't all be clever. And sometimes he's boastful and arrogant, but he's got some good qualities."
Soon they arrive at Toad Hall. They pass by a boating house. It is full of boats. They are all out of the water.
"It seems that Toad isn't interested in boating anymore. I wonder what his new hobby is,"
says Rat. Rat and Mole get out of the boat and walk across the gardens of Toad Hall. They see Toad in the garden. He is looking at a big map. He is very pleased to see Rat and Mole.
"Hello, Toad,"
says Rat.
"This is my friend Mole."
"Oh, splendid!"
cries Toad.
"Pleased to meet you. Come and see my new hobby."
He shows them a gypsy caravan. It is yellow and green with red wheels.
"There's real life,"
cries Toad.
"The open road, travel, change, interest, excitement. Look inside, everything's there. We've got everything for our journey this afternoon."
"Excuse me, you say we, our, this afternoon?"
asks Rat.
"Yes, Ratty, I can't go without you,"
says Toad.
"Oh, Rat, it's so exciting,"
says Mole.
"Very well,"
says Rat.
"Let's go."
After lunch they go to the paddock and catch the old grey horse. Then they set off on the road. In the evening they stop and eat a simple meal. Then they go to bed. The next morning Toad sleeps until very late, so Mole walks to the nearest village. He buys milk and eggs for breakfast, and Rat lights a fire and washes the dinner plates from the night before. They are very tired after this hard work. Finally, Toad gets up.
Life on the road is very easy,
he says. After breakfast, they set off. They are walking along the road, when suddenly a magnificent motor car drives past. The caravan is ruined. Rat is furious.
You villains! Police! Help!
He shouts. But Toad is sitting in the middle of the road. He is staring in the direction of the motor car.
Poop, poop,
he says.
Poop, poop.
Rat and Mole try to pull the caravan out of the ditch, but they can't. Rat asks,
Can you help us, Toad?
Poop, poop,
replies Toad.
Now that's the real way to travel, the only way.
The caravan is ruined, and they must return home by train. The next day, Toad buys a big and very expensive motor car.